All right, everybody. Today's a real treat. Introducing Chris, who's the Ivory of the Ebony Ivory Cigar Podcast. He's been away for the last 2 weeks, sick, but he's feeling a lot better. So we met up today at one of our favorite cigar lounges that we frequent, Queensberry Cigar and Pipe. Introduce yourself, Chris. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. I am Ivory, better known as Chris, and Doc's been bugging me to do a podcast with him for quite a while now. Even though, it took me a little bit to get on board, but I'm excited to do the first podcast and together and let you guys know what we're smoking today.
So I'm smoking the Davidoff Escurio. This is a Corona Gorda. Very first time I've ever had this cigar. And just on a cold draw, I picked up some maple, some nut, and a little bit of citrus. What are you smoking today, Chris?
Oh, I have two cigars with me. I have a Regis Black that I bought here at Queensberry, probably a year and a half ago, and it's been sitting in my locker for that long. And I know it's one of Doc's favorites.
Yes, it is.
And,
we actually split a box together.
Only thanks to my good graces, but that's a story for another day. And I have a Tatuaje. I believe it's the Jason one from the Monster series. And it's the smaller one from the collector's pack, I think, with all 8 or 10 of them in it.
Oh, great.
And I've never had this cigar before. I haven't had too many Tatuajes either.
I've never had that brand myself. So I noticed you did say on your Regis Black, correct?
Correct.
You said it's been sitting for a year. So what does that kind of do for the cigar? Some people think that that's part of aging. Well, I mean, what is your take on it?
Well, the only reason it's been sitting for years is because I have a lot of cigars here.
We won't give you a number.
No.
But you can buy a car for how many cigars he has.
But from what I gathered, listening to people and doing a little bit on my own, is that cigars that start off stronger will age better for you because they may mellow out slightly and develop slightly different flavors than when they were brand new. But cigars that are mild or mild medium to begin with are not going to hold up over time, especially if they're expensive. You probably don't want to let those sit too long. That's not a 5-year or 10-year aging process for those.
Yeah, good. And so, I've learned most of the things I know about cigars, I've learned from Chris. Chris and I, we just hit it off. How many years ago?
Oh, about 3 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years
before
ago.
Before COVID.
Yeah, before COVID. So we're looking at about 4 years ago. We met in a cigar lounge and we kind of hit it off, and we've been friends ever since. It's funny because I was a member of the cigar lounge, actually member number 1, and never smoked cigars. So I would go to the cigar lounge, hang out, smoke a cigar, drink my bourbon while everybody else smoked their cigars, and then I would leave. So I met Chris there, and Chris has been very influential in teaching me of my knowledge in regards to cigars. So how long have you been in cigars, Chris?
Oh, I think I first started smoking cigars in maybe 1997.
Oh, wow.
But back at that time, I lived in the middle of north central Pennsylvania, and the only cigars you could get, aside from mail order, which was not as easy back then as it is now, were like drugstore brands. So Garcia Vega,
Swisher
Sweets,
Black and Mild,
Parodies. Yeah. But yeah, I've been smoking cigars that long.
Wow.
I used to use it as a way to, kind of segregate myself from our children when they were younger. We had a big 3-season porch, and I would go out on the porch and light up a cigar, and they'd try and come out, and I'd say, "Oh, you can't come out here. I'm smoking a cigar. Go ask your mom." Yeah. Worked good for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in a cigar lounge doing this podcast live. So if you hear other voices, it's because we're in a cigar lounge. There's people around us who is enjoying a cigar in the middle of the day. So that's what makes this podcast very interesting.
Other members of Queensberry. You got John Lucy over here, and
yep.
Some of the members may or may not have a broken foot right now.
Yeah. But it's a great place, I find great solitude coming to the cigar lounge. Sometimes I'm able to escape and get away for maybe an hour during the daytime. Many times, Chris and I have to meet up in the evening after we finish work, get the family settled, and so forth. Again, that's the part of the reason why I'm building a personal cigar lounge, to have more accessibility and hopefully be able to go to the cigar lounge in my pajamas and not have to get dressed in the cold brute force of New York weather.
Yeah, Chris does not come to Doc's house and smoke cigars when he's in his pajamas. Just get that out there right now.
Right. Mhm. So, on your Regis, how was the cold draw? Kind of take us through it.
I think I was talking too much and I didn't do a cold draw.
All right. So, what are you picking up now?
Right now,
Yeah, your
well,
first
I
note.
could quote Bill Burr, but right now, I'm getting a little bit of like toasted walnut, like really heavily, almost burnt walnuts.
Yeah, Regis
It's
Black.
not unpleasant. It's a fairly strong cigar for me though.
Yeah, Chris smokes, I would say, stronger cigars than I do, but I've kind of migrated to some stronger cigars. Maduros, Little A's from McAuliffe. I had a couple other Maduros.
Oh yeah, you had the Perdomo 10th anniversary Maduro. How'd that go for you?
Yeah, that's a story. You know, Chris was introduced me into different cigars. I never smoked before. I don't drink coffee, and for whatever reason, he had this great idea to give me a high nicotine dose Maduro 10th anniversary Perdomo. Probably only finished a third of it, and almost threw up 3 times on my way home. I was flying home, trying to get home, just to get something in my stomach. It's the only time in our 4 years of friendship that I ever wanted to punch him in the throat.
Oh well, what are you gonna do? Live and learn.
Yeah. So this is so far a very, very smooth cigar. This Davidoff Escurio. It's not changing any. I can always check back with you once I got past a third, and Chris can give you an update on his Regis as well. So stay tuned, and we'll get back with you once we got at least a third smoked. But I can handle it all. Hey everybody, so just checking back in with you guys. I finished the first third of this Davidoff Escurio Corona Gordo, and the notes haven't changed. I'm still getting the nuttiness, a little bit of a citrus, and a hint of maple. It hasn't become any stronger. It hasn't diminished. It's actually the very same as the initial lighting of the cigar. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm a little less than a third of the way through with the Regis Black, and it's still a great cigar, just like I remembered it when I purchased it. My notes haven't changed. There's no sweetness to this cigar, which kind of appeals to me. And I'm still getting, kind of overly toasted walnuts.
That's good.
And it's going well. There's no construction issues with this, but I don't think there ever has been with a Regis cigar.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Yeah, this is a great burn as well. I am picking up just a little bit of hint of saltiness. I don't know if anybody else who ever smoked a cigar picked that up, but I am picking up just a hint of saltiness, which actually complements the citrus aspect of the cigar that I'm picking up.
It's probably salty because he's not smoking a Regis Black.
Yeah, we have to do. See, Chris is a little bit more technical. He has, composed this whole rating system, like a cigar magazine. I'm just.
We're not laying that on you today.
Yeah, we won't lay it on today, but I will give you my 1 to 10 scale, which I always do. I'm more of the 1 to 10. 5 and below, I really don't like it. 5 and above, I like it. And then as we get closer to 10, gives you indication of how much more do I like it, opposed to going the opposite direction. And everybody has different notes or palates that they can tolerate or that they like. My profile for cigars is similar to Chris, but we have a lot of different differences. As we talked about earlier, the Maduro 10th anniversary Perdomo, which I do not like. I would give that a 0. All right. We wait till we get back to the last third of our cigars, check with you, and wrap up this review that we're doing. All right, so everybody, down to my last third of this Davidoff Escurio. This is a Corona Gorda. And the notes haven't changed. I'm still picking up a little bit of saltiness, nuttiness, citrus with a little hint of maple. This actually is a good cigar. I would actually use this as a morning cigar. On a rating of 0 to 10, I would give this a strong 9. How about your cigar, Chris?
I'm a tougher grader than you. I always enjoy this cigar. I'm going to give this one 7.5. But again, I'm a really hard grader. I always enjoy this particular size of this cigar too. I think that the shorter cigar format is well suited to this particular cigar. It doesn't, some cigars, they have flavor changes, and sometimes that works in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it doesn't. And maybe they have one flavor change in the middle somewhere. Maybe they have a couple different zones of flavor change depending on what the rollers stick in there. This one I enjoy the whole way through, and I think if I remember right, the longer one, I didn't like the last third, but this one I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And it's got a really tight burn line, if you guys can see that.
Yeah. So if that particular cigar, what can improve to maybe to add one more point to it? So if you went from, you said 7.5?
If it was free, it would be a 10.
Okay, just shy of being free. What can be improved in your estimation to give it maybe an additional point?
I think they've gotten everything they could have out of this particular group of tobaccos. And skills of the roller, everything is perfect as far as construction goes. There's no complaints there.
All right. So here you have it. Chris gives his a 7. I give mine now you make me feel
7.5.
7.5. All right. Maybe I should change mine to an 8.5.
Hey, if you start off there, what'd you say, 9?
9, yeah.
You start off there, where you only got one more to go.
All right. 7.5 of mine too.
Wow.
Davidoff might not like this review. But anyway, it's a good cigar.
And but to be fair, I know for a fact there are 4 or 5 Davidoffs you enjoy more
Better
than that.
yeah.
So if you're at a 9, where are you going?
Yeah, that's true, right? So yeah, so I would downgrade this to a 7.5 based upon that there are other cigars that I think rate 2 or 3 points higher than this.
And by the way, 7.5. I bought 2 boxes of these. So
yeah, and I have one box?
We split the 1 box.
Yeah.
I bought 2 and I split 1 with you.
Yeah, it's a good cigar. I would buy a
It's
box of
great cigar.
these. I would recommend a box of these. This is a great cigar, particularly in the morning or afternoon, early afternoon. I think we came in here, around about 2 o'clock. So yeah, this is a good cigar. Anyway, this is Ebony and Ivory from the Ebony Ivory Cigar Podcast.
No, we're not going to sing the song. Don't ask.
Wishing you all a great day, and hopefully we see you guys tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm supposed to get the glass installed into my cigar lounge that I'm building. So, if so, they're supposed to be here at 9 o'clock. We'll do an update to see how that's going.
I'm a working man. I won't be at your place watching glass get put in at 9 o'clock.
I will be working
Work
as
for a
well
living.
from Wi-Fi.
I work for a living.
Yeah. One of these days we're going to talk about who actually goes to work more than the other. Have a great day.